Hi, this is Frank again with a frank opinion. In my last few videos I've been focusing on H.R. 676, the expanded and improved Medicare for all single-payer health program introduced by Representative John Conyers. And I've also had some themes here that suggest that Americans really have to take matters into their own hands, because Congress in and of itself is not going to make for the improvements in public policy and budgets that we need in order to survive and thrive. It's on us, and sometimes what's helpful is getting mad as hell and saying to yourself, you're not going to take it anymore. I want to give some practical suggestions today in terms of how to move forward on H.R. 676, but first I want to give you some good news. Between yesterday and today, between March 29th and yesterday, we have 9 new congresspeople that have come on as co-sponsors of H.R. 676. I found that out this morning. A terrific staff member by the name of Dan was nice enough to give me the list of the new co-sponsors. He's out of John Conyers' office. And they are Congressman Anthony Brown of Maryland, Congressman Andre Carson of Indiana, Congressman Peter DeFazio of Oregon, Congressman Lou Correa of California, Congresswoman Kathy Castor of Florida, Congressman Jimmy Panetta of California, Congressman David Cicilline from Rhode Island, Gene Green from Texas, Congressman Gene Green from Texas, and Congressman David Price from North Carolina. So that's 9 in just a few days. So we've gone from 51 original co-sponsors on January 24th to March 7th with 61. On March 29th, 76, and we were stuck there for a few days. And then between the 29th and actually yesterday, because on Friday there were still 76, so a lot happened yesterday, an additional 9 congresspeople. Of those, 3 of them are members of the Congressional Democratic Caucus, the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and I highlight that because there were 21 outstanding members of the Progressive Caucus who had not become co-sponsors. I know that because I called both Congressman Keith Ellison's office and Congressman Raul Grijalva's office, their co-chairs of the Progressive Caucus, to find out what they were doing to motivate their own members to get involved. Well, 3 additional members of the caucus signed on as co-sponsors, but that leaves 18 members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus that still are not co-sponsors. So there's a lot of room there. What I'm going to mention today is something from community organizing. You have 2 basic models: organizing individuals around a particular goal, but also the organization of organizations model. And I think that that's tremendously important to consider with regard to H.R. 676 and perhaps the next battles with regard to tax reform, with regards to climate change, with regard to free public higher education, etc. And that is that organizations, and there are many, that are for advocating and supporting each of these different subject areas, vital areas, whether it be single-payer healthcare, free colleges, robust climate change policy, raising the minimum wage, social and criminal justice, the list goes on. All these organizations are fighting on their own behalf, but if you have an organizing arm that coordinates and has a principle that says as follows: please get involved with us in advocating and succeeding in getting passage and making into law H.R. 676. So all you folks that are for free public higher education, all you folks that are keenly involved in climate change issues, all of you that want to see a raise in the minimum wage, come with us now and help us fight for single payer. And when it's your turn, you take the helm of the coordinating arm. So Bill McKibben from 350.org We're going to fight for climate change policy and budgets. 350.org becomes the chair of a multi-organizing group that then enlists everybody else that helped with single payer. I hope you get the picture here. So you keep on changing the chair and the coordinating committee and the organization on top, but you get everybody involved in succeeding to get something like single payer. The other concept I'm going to throw out to you today is when the organization ourrevolution.org was formed following Bernie Sanders' historic primary run, I thought to myself, revolution is kind of a hard word for a lot of people to accept. And also that I didn't think that without a massive educational program across every state, in every community, that citizens would support in the way they have to support whatever party, let's say the Democratic Party in this instance, or a third party, to advocate on their own behalf, citizens speaking on their own behalf in terms of policies and budgetary proclamations that make sense. I thought it could be and should be a futuretobelievein.org. I thought that Bernie Sanders, in my fantasy of all fantasies, would have been the best person to fundraise and lead this organization. He's doing his thing rather effectively. But the purpose of that organization would be first and foremost, educate, educate, educate. Every state, every community, whether it's red, blue, or purple. Secondly, that there be a chapter, or if the district is large, number of chapters in every congressional district. Its main purpose is to educate citizens on the issues. Speakers bureaus, training in civics. How do you get involved? What's the process for seeking legislation and getting it approved? How do you approach your elected official, and how can you make that meeting effective? And wide dissemination of information. These are just some of the things that I think would be extremely important to begin to pursue now. Because if the citizens are uneducated and not informed enough, any win, whether it be in 2018 or 2020, is fragile, can be subject to somebody else coming in and then once again saying we need change and taking over. No, if we begin to believe in a society that works for everybody and are educated and are motivated to act, we can achieve great things. Thank you for today.